How's it going, guys? Alex here. Welcome back to another SSR Analysis video, and today we are going to be taking a look at the STR Majin Buu, Pure Evil, or as many of you know him by, Evil Buu. And if we go ahead and jump straight into it with his leader skill, he gives 3 ki and a 30% attack and HP boost to tech in an STR type, so he has a very similar leader skill to the units that we've previously seen that have gotten rebirths. The only difference is that he doesn't give a defensive boost, but again, as I've said multiple times before, that defensive boost isn't that noticeable unless the defensive stat is extremely high, and obviously the boost is enough from the leader skill, in which case with this leader skill it wouldn't be that noticeable. So still a good leader skill regardless, especially if you don't have that many good top tier units with the best leader skill. So still a good leader skill nonetheless. He causes supreme damage and he raises his own attack for 3 turns or 3 rounds. This is probably the biggest improvement about this card. His attack boost went from like 2,000, if I'm not mistaken, to an 18,000 attack boost when HP is 99% or below. So he has kept the restriction, but that isn't too much of a problem, because if you really wanted to activate on the turn that he is coming up, say he's on the first turn, you can just simply get yourself hurt on the map by landing on one of the pods that deals damage towards your health, and then his passive would have activated as soon as you start the turn. Or alternatively, if he is up on the second turn, so to speak, you can obviously take a bit of damage and it will instantly activate, as it is 99%. But I think the biggest letdown for me is definitely his links. He has Margin, Brutal Beatdown, Kamehameha, Infinite Regeneration, Nightmare, Wall Standing Tall, and Shattering the Limit. So he has the generic Buu links, of course, but he is missing any links that will allow this unit to fit into a team. I am going to quickly say this, but every single SSR in a game is useful to a new player. However, for a player that has been playing for a while, there is no reason for you to put this Buu in there in place of a different unit that you currently have in your team. One of the reasons being, despite having that 18,000 attack boost, which I've said before, flat out boost just aren't the greatest. I mean, you have SS Blue Kaioken Goku, who is an example of why it's not that great, but the thing about Kaioken Goku is that he has a 150% 12 ki multiplier, he has immense damage, and that is the difference between why, despite only being 2,000 attack away from SS Blue Kaioken's attack boost, multiple different factors equate to how hard each unit is going to hit, which is why that he isn't the greatest option. And keep in mind that you are most likely not going to be using Kais on this unit specifically, so he isn't going to be hitting as hard as Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, despite almost having the same amount of attack boost or as big of an attack boost. But the thing, as I was saying before, that lets him down the most is definitely his key links. He does have Nightmare, which is a pretty good attack link, but he is missing Shocking Speed and Fear and Faith, which are both 2 pretty common villain links, and that just stops him from being able to link at all. Granted, you can just put him on a villain team and he will instantly be able to super attack because of Rose, but if you were to put him on a mono STR team, it just wouldn't work, because the way the things are now, things are straying away more from villains, and STR teams are more hero centric now, so he just isn't going to work unless you run a certain setup. If you were to run, even if you were to run a double Omega Shenron lead, he still wouldn't fit that well because his links just aren't that great. I will say again, if you are starting off, he is an okay unit, but he definitely did have a lot more potential. Just give him 1 or 2 good links. Fear and Faith is starting to be a much better link now, especially amongst some STR units. But I am going to use another example here. Let's just say that they released the Extreme STR type lead. Obviously Goku is the hero lead / extreme lead, but Goku doesn't give as much of a boost to extreme types. But let's just say that the same came out for extreme types. Would he still be usable? No, he would get a much higher ki boost and he would get a much better stat boost, but the thing is, the thing that's stopping him from being a good unit is the ki links. Like, doesn't matter how hard he hits, if he can't super attack and if your other units can't super attack, it's just not going to work too well. Give him just 1 good link. Fear and Faith would have been perfect for him. I am going to say that he is the worst of the rebirths that were released recently. Don't defend him just because he got a massive attack boost. Flat out attack boosts have never been that great, and many people even criticise Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken because of that. Like, you can see that flat out attack boost is impacting how hard he can hit overall, and because of that, Super Saiyan Blue Goku is catching up with him. And in some situations, SS Blue Goku can outdamage Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, especially if he is linked up with Vegeta, and if you've put a ton of orbs into him in the orb system, SS Blue Goku is going to be hitting a lot harder. But the point is, despite a huge increase in attack, he still isn't going to be the greatest unit. As I said before, if he did have one good key link, he could definitely be usable. His restriction honestly isn't a problem at all, but I definitely feel like he had a lot more potential. They could have easily made him self-sufficient, or at least give key to his allies that be able to use him despite not having the greatest links, but they didn't do that, which is unfortunate. Overall, he is a good unit if you are going to be starting out, and if he's just sitting in your box and you don't have that many great STR type units, then go ahead and use him. He probably won't be super attacking a lot of the time, especially if you have a Super Saiyan 4 Goku lead, but yeah, it's a shame because I was actually looking forward to seeing how good his rebirth would be. But I hope you guys do understand where I am coming from. I try to explain both sides of the story, so to speak. I try to say that it can be good if you are just starting off, but if you are a player that's been playing for a longer period of time and you have a specific set of units, he just isn't worth your time. But I hope you all enjoyed it regardless, and if you did, do not forget to leave a like and subscribe for more content. I hope you will have a great day, and I will see you guys in the next one.